What the frick is up, YouTube? It's a rainy day today, as you can see. So I couldn't really walk at the park. I apologize, but I also came up with a different plan, a different goal today. So on my Instagram, on my personal account, I guess like my personal brand or whatever account, it's Peter Roman. I made a video yesterday with my meta band classes, and I recorded myself picking up these 3 girls, picking up chicks, getting their phone number. And it got me thinking, people really enjoy that content. It got some movement compared to my other videos. It did well. It got like 1,400 views or so. And it got me like, okay, like people want to see something like that, So I was thinking, why not kill 2 birds with 1 stone, just like I do with the drone car, which I took out of my seat because I've been driving a Lyft and I needed to make some money, but also because I wanted to put myself in a place where I'm likely to see cute girls, so I don't, for the drone car, I don't know if you guys remember, it's like a 3D model that I it's not in my car anymore, but the way that I sell it is like, okay, like go to a Tesla supercharger and it's relevant, to the people there because they're forward thinking. They adopted an electric car before the world caught on. And they're the target market because they like sustainability, green technology, all that stuff. So it makes sense. But when you try to get a girl's number to promote your book, it's a little bit different. There's no, I guess you can go to Barnes & Noble, which is where I was, but it was like 9:30 in the morning. But the thing is, if you go in there and tell her the book is free, she might feel a little awkward walking out of the bookstore with a book without paying for it, just because some random guy told her that it's his book. So you can kind of see where the problem lies there. I guess you could go to the mall in general and like find girls there, but I don't know, I'll probably try the bookstore again. There's no really point to this vlog, just wanted to document my thoughts on what's going on what's been going on. I also didn't want to go a day without getting a vlog. So yeah, the Solipsist. You're probably wondering what it's about. It's about this dude, right? He basically goes through a life experience, a trauma. He smokes weed. Then he discovers that he might be alone in the universe, that he might be the sole consciousness to exist. Like everyone else is an NPC. Like he lives in God's mind. Like everywhere around him is in God's mind, and he is the creator of that mind. Like he's in God's mind, and he's like, it's God experiencing himself. So this book launched in 2024, and since then I've like thought about it more, and I'm like, damn, like I have fresh ideas that I could have put in the book and wrote about them. I talked about a little bit about them on this channel. But it's this philosophy that no one else really cares, no one really else exists, like it's all for one person. And in the case of this book, it's his name is Solon Vale. um and it's based on a true story, so it's based on my life. um and I put a lot of like it's a philosophy that I adopted, solipsism. I don't know if you can call it a religion. It's just that, you know, politically and all that stuff, like religiously, spiritually, mentally, physically, like if you realize that you're here alone, like no one else is, you're not experiencing anybody else's experience except your own, you start to realize that like shit doesn't really matter. And it's like money and stuff, like you start realizing what money actually is, because you think about where money comes from. It comes from the government. The government prints it and then it decides where to put it. And then how do they decide where to put money? Well, people have to apply for it, like SBIR grant, small business loan, small business grants. They put it into industry, services, public services, infrastructure, necessary things for everyday life. So really, it's like you're never actually making money, you're just taking it from someone who made it. You're taking it from someone who printed it, like at the source. If you want to go at the source, someone somewhere, whoever has money, eventually got it from the government who printed it, and then we just gave it power. But if you take away that necessary, that like desire for money, as long as you have your basic necessities taken care of, which a lot of women won't date a man if they are not stable. So like if you're born, chances are you're likely born into like a home, like you have a shelter and stuff, unless you come from a broken home. Then I'm not talking about that. But as long as you have your bare necessities, and some people would argue, like Maslow would argue, that having children is a bare necessity. That's a fundamental need. That's like a base need. Like it's a level 1, along with food and shelter and water. It's like reproduction it's like oxygen. But if you don't reproduce and you have these goals and dreams, like to become rich, like you want to, and whatever that means to you, because to me it doesn't mean having a number in my bank account. It means like legit, like making money. And money, it does not mean number. Money to me does not mean cash. It does not mean having a big number in my bank account. Money, this is money. After I made this, I smiled at my computer and was like, money. You know what I mean? Like, yes, it's you can trade it for cash, but I'm not talking about like the physical object in front of you is money. Like, it's like this car is money. This fucking, not money in the sense that like green paper. I'm talking about like someone had to work and create, like convert energy and frequency and matter and like food and all this stuff had to be twisted and turned and crafted into like a book. And like this book is just, and I own it. Ownership is what I'm after. I want to own shit. It's not about owning cash. It's not about that. It's about creating something that no one can take away from you. Because you made it, it's yours. So, you know, we trade resources, we trade things, but like at the end of the day, profit isn't a real thing, because the first law of thermodynamics doesn't allow energy to be created nor destroyed. So really, when you're profiting, you're really just devaluing the currency. And that's why we're $36 trillion in debt. Because literally, like, that $36 trillion is somewhere, like, it's, I don't know, it's the stuff around us, like all the shit that we see is worth 36, like everything combined together is $36 trillion. But when you understand that, it's like you stop like trading your shit for like pointless shit. Like if you could live at home, you know, if you could rent like a cheap apartment, you know, you don't need that much. Like, we want all this shit. And it's like, bro, like, what did you actually do with your life? What did you make? It's not about how much money you made. It's about what did you create? That's what it is. And you can't create matter. So what does create even really mean? You know? It's not about how much money you made. It's about how much money did you create. It's something like that. So like Tesla created motors. That's why this car is named after him. He invented the 3-phase electric motor, brushless electric motor. And we appreciate him for that. We really do. We really do. So it's like, what legacy are you leaving behind? You know, when I die, like, this book will always be on Amazon. Like, it will just always be there. So when people find me, or like my kids talk about me, or my grandchildren, or my nephews and nieces and all that, like your name will live on, you know? And it's like, you gotta think you gotta think forwardly, like forward thinking. You know, you gotta think for the future. What does the future hold? And you might not ever see the repercussions of your creations, you know, while you're alive, because some things, you know, get popular when after you die. Like, look at I don't know, some famous creator, like I think Mozart or something, like, it wasn't even like nobody liked his shit until he died, and then suddenly everybody like knows about him. But it's about, does God want to be you? Live a life that is so good that literally the creator of the simulation that we're in wants to be you. That's what the Solipsist is about. So we're all creations of God's creations, right? God created this. He created a simulation where an evolutionary tree has to compete for his favor. right? So he looks for certain qualities like intelligence, bravery, curiosity, humor. I don't know what like bro, like just study where you are and like read shit. Don't just play video games and fucking run around gorilla tag. My nephew plays gorilla tag. I guess when you're young, like you don't really care about anything. You just want to have fun and play video games. That's what I wanted to do too. I mean, video games are awesome. Like literally, they're a modern marvel. But then I was like, bro, like life is literally a video game. That's where the simulation theory came out from. I literally said that we're in a video game. But I got that from the Matrix, so I didn't really invent it. But I'm pretty sure I'm the first one that like called life a video game. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, like I just started testing shit. This solipsist theory. I was like, bro, I'm alone in the universe. So this guy, Solon Vale, he goes to a car dealership and asks them for a free car. At the time, I think it was like a Subaru Impreza WRX STI that he liked. So he was acting strange because he was high when he did it. You know, he was like, man, this is like, because he realized that he might be alone when he got high. Like his short-term memory shut off or something. He forgot how to function. And he went to a dealership. I'm not going to spoil what happens, but that's kind of the build-up. So he was testing these theories. You know, things happened to him. He got diagnosed with something. Again, I don't want to spoil it. But he got diagnosed with, I guess if you're not going to read it, I'll tell you. But if you do read it, just X out of this video right now because I'm going to spoil it. But yeah, if you don't care. He was acting strange at the dealership, so they called the ambulance on him. He got sent to the hospital and then got diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder. All because of this like belief that he's the soul consciousness. That's how fucked up the mental health industry is. They don't take into account like unique perspectives. They're just like, oh, you're socially unacceptable. You're fucking schizoaffective. Like you have schizophrenia. You're delusional. You have you're breaking from reality. Like, how do you know what reality is? How do you know what the truth is? You know? So he finds the truth. This possibility. Well, you know, he gets gaslit by the mental health industry, and they tell him basically what you're saying doesn't, you know, it just you've lost your mind, and yeah, you have this diagnosis. So anyway, he runs with it. You know, maybe he's crazy, whatever. Maybe his brain doesn't work properly anymore, like normal. He has this like enlightened awakening. He has like he reaches peak enlightenment. And then he just tries to basically tell his story by writing a book called The Compiler, which is like a vision board for his life. Like, he discovers that he's alone, and then he's like, bro, like, I can literally do anything I want. What do I want to do? So he does whatever he wants. He He doesn't worry about money because to him, he's the owner of God's mind that he's in, of the universe. He literally created everything in his head, and God is experiencing him. Nobody else is around. Everybody else is an NPC. They're figments of his imagination. And then that gets him thinking, like, bro, like, yes, there's this power struggle. There's like, yes, everything's yours, but you can't touch it. There's like certain rules to prevent him from getting bored. Because if he just enabled cheat codes and was able to drive any car he wanted, you know, sleep with any woman he wanted, like, there has to be resistance. There has to be challenges in his life. And he got so bored that he got afraid for his own life. Like, he was like, damn, like, everything's mine. Like, I pretty much beat the game, because he unlocked the secret. He unlocked this, like, he discovered that he's alone. So that's when he created Lorenz Motors, because he was like, bro, that's what this is. That's when he created Lorenz, because he wanted to have, like, God designed the simulation that he's in for like a purpose, like something difficult, something challenging, something impossible. Because he's running from reality, basically. He's running from the truth that he's the soul consciousness, and literally, if the world acknowledged it, it wouldn't take too long before he got bored, or like he got lonely because other people don't exist. So he got lonely, he got bored, he craved a challenge. Nothing was exciting. I mean, things were like exciting, but like, imagine being in a dream, right? And I just talked to this guy right here. From this perspective, doing that, it can get dangerous. This book is very dangerous. Because if you adopt this mindset that you're in a dream of some sort, you will literally, like, forget the social norms that society has created, that we collectively, like, you'll forget what your mom taught you, you'll forget what your dad taught you, you'll forget what your friends said before. You'll kind of just, like, it's a very dangerous philosophy, and like, if you really adopt it, you can end up in the hospital in a loony bin and end up with a diagnosis. But as long as you're following societal norms, making money, pursuing power, intelligence, strength, and you're not disturbing the peace or acting weird because you don't really care, because oh, here's the thing. If you treat people like they don't exist, that's when things get weird. If you lose that part of you that imagines what people think, you know, it's almost like a sixth sense that almost feels like you can kind of have an intuition of what people are feeling or what people are thinking, which in the book is called thought broadcasting. He thinks that, like, you can telepathically communicate with other people because he's alone, so other people can read his mind and he can imagine what other people are thinking. I don't know. I'm getting like existential right now just talking about it. Just like, I don't know. I almost lose my mind, you know? I lose my mind. I lose the ability to think. I lose the ability to like I forget the political game that we're playing. The power struggle, the status game, you know, who's cooler, who's better, who has more stuff, and all that shit just goes away when you're alone. You're just like, bro, like, yeah, making it scary, which is why this book has this cover. It's kind of like a mirror reflection of himself, like it's just him and him, just him, and everybody else is him. It's kind of how I interpret it. Everything's just a reflection of his own mind. Here, I'll let you read it. Just pause if you want to read it. I'll scroll up. Yeah, this video is long enough. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like and subscribe. Comment your thoughts. Order the book. It's on Amazon. It's called The Solipsist. Just search The Solipsist by Peter Ruhlman. Let me know what you guys think. When it stops raining and all that stuff, if I come across some cute girls, I'll talk to them and maybe give them this book. So, follow It's Peter Ruhlman on Instagram to see that stuff. Bye.